What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Our manager hunt has took a twist, has took a turn, and after months and months and months of random names, random fake news, Gasperini will be our new manager. It's not a here we go yet. It's not confirmed 100%. He hasn't signed the contract, but Di Marzio said literally 20 minutes ago that it's a countdown for Gasperini, that he has communicated to Atalanta his decision to leave the club after 9 years. He wants a new experience. He lost a lot of, I think the issue with Gasp is that he lost a lot of inspirations to move forward with Atalanta, a lot of determination, because I feel like he's understood that he got the best out of Atalanta, so he doesn't have any stimulus anymore, which is important, which made him decide to end that chapter after 9 years and consider this new chapter with Claudio Ranieri pushing very hard. Because remember, Gasperini has always been Ranieri's first pick. Ranieri always wanted an Italian manager, an experienced manager, somebody who plays and makes the team play well, but also be very important when it comes to investments, who doesn't demand a lot in terms of money and investments, but definitely demands a lot in terms of controlling the transfer window. And that is something that I would like to speak about. Of course, I want to know what everybody thinks, because I already spoke about this topic months ago when we were first initially linked with him. This is a manager who will divide. And I'm warning you. I am warning you here. A lot of you guys might already know and are already prepared. Gasperini will divide. Because Gasperini, as I've said many, many times, is not particularly appreciated by a vast percentage of Roma fans, especially, the more hardcore ultras, Curva Sud, season ticket holders. They can't stand Gasperini, and this is an element to consider. He's a great manager. He's absolutely a great manager. I don't like him in terms of personality. I don't. I've said it many times. But I also tend to believe that we can't judge a manager based on his personality. We can't. Unless he killed your wife, then you can't judge a manager and not want a manager just because, he said a few things against us years ago. I can understand the frustration. I can understand, the traditionalist hardcore fans which go, no, we don't want Gasperini because Gasperini, threw shit at our name multiple times when he was at Atalanta. I understand this. But I already gave this analogy last time. You don't have to go on holiday and share a house with him in Greece for a month. You don't have to do that. He needs to work hard and manage your football club. Okay? So, I understand, I understand the frustration. Because I'm the first one to say that I'm not a fan of him as a person, as a personality and everything. But he's a great manager. And of course, I think the dimension at Roma is very different from the dimension at Atalanta. It does not mean that what he achieved at Atalanta will be copied and pasted into Rome. That is one of the most fakest narrations that I've ever heard. Because Atalanta doesn't have pressure, because Atalanta was fighting to not get relegated when he picked it up, because Atalanta lets you have a lot of freedom and choices. The fans of Atalanta fans don't, love you. Atalanta fans don't demand massive. They don't put you in the pressure that Roma fans will put you. So it's a step up. It's a very complicated atmosphere to work in. We've said this many times. It's going to be challenging for him, but I think this is exactly what he wants. He wants a new challenge. He lost every stimulus possible. 9 years at Atalanta has exhausted him. He got the best out of that football club. In fact, potentially we could say that he overachieved. In fact, he definitely overachieved. And now he wants a new challenge. But it's a big jump. It's a complicated challenge. And I have said before, prepare because it's going to divide. So if you see that there are going to be a few banners the day we announce him around the city of Rome, Gasperini vattene, Gasperini vaffanculo, Gasperini pezzo di merda, expect this, because the hardcore fans don't like him. The hardcore fans have had problems with him in the past. And it's, he's not a manager which the hardcore fans will digest immediately. I will leave you like this. I will leave you like this because this, in my opinion, this either goes perfect or this either goes in the most disastrous way possible. This pick is an interesting pick. I think out of all the possible managers that have been linked with us and all the actual possible managers that could have signed for Roma, Gasperini is one of the best. Because I think what I love about Gasperini is, I think the most important thing about Gasperini is that he would bring the culture of hard work. Something that at Roma in the past 8 years, I don't think we've had. The culture of the culture of brutal training sessions. I get TikToks, I listen to podcasts of ex-players sometimes, and it's not the first time that an ex-Atalanta player has mentioned in a podcast how Gasperini's training sessions are brutal. They are absolutely brutal. Gasperini brings hard work. Gasperini is somebody that if you don't follow, he will literally fuck off. He will fucking stab you. Okay? And I think this culture of this football club has been lacking in a very long while. It has lacked in a very long while. We need, he will running. In July, 40 degrees, 3 training sessions a day. This is something that I like because this is something that I think we've missed. The culture of hard work, the culture of squeezing every single brink of energy out of every single player. I will say, however, that it will take time because this team, at time of speaking, he can work with this. But I think there are a lot of players which don't fit Gasperini's system. Now, I may be wrong. Maybe he can prove us wrong. I hope he proves us wrong. But I'll give you an example. Dybala. I don't want Dybala to leave. I only want Dybala to leave whenever he lifts the Europa League with us. After he does it, he can leave. Before, I want Paulo to stay. But I don't massively see Dybala. Out of all the players in our team, I would actually say Dybala is one of the least compatible with Gasperini's system. Number one, I don't necessarily think we'll sell him. Because remember, Gasperini and Dybala worked together at Palermo. Gasperini always wanted and always demanded, even at Atalanta multiple times, a creative player. You can see this when they bought Samardžić. Gasperini pushed so much to sign Samardžić. So I don't think Dybala will leave. I don't think Gasperini will come into Rome and go, Paulo, I don't need you, can go. But I definitely would say that Dybala will play less with Gasperini. Dybala will have a less central appearance in Gasperini's system. Also because, going back to what I said a few seconds ago, I'm not sure Dybala resists Gasperini's training sessions. That's something that I'm willing to see, I'm willing to question, but I'm not that convinced that, Dybala's fitness and Dybala's muscles will resist Gasperini's training sessions because they're brutal. Especially at the beginning, where Gasperini needs to implant his ideas. These players need to fucking suffer in his training sessions. I'll tell you that for free. The other thing, which is what will happen tomorrow, is some very, very reliable sources, including Di Marzio, are saying that tomorrow there will be a meeting, a very important meeting, kind of the final meeting between Gasperini and the Fredkins. And Di Marzio has confirmed that the deal is very close, but this meeting is an important meeting because in this meeting, Gasperini will show the Fredkins how he wants the transfer windows to operate. And the Fredkins, this is the most important thing with Gasperini. This is the most important thing. You can do whatever you want with him, but the one thing that you must do is you need to back him in the transfer window. Like with any other manager, I guess, yes, but especially him. And number 2, you need to give him total control in decisions inside the transfer window. If you let Ghisolfi pick the players for him, Gasperini and Rome will get sacked after 3 months. And I will put my face and say this. You need to give him total control in the players he wants. That is the first, that's it. That is the core ingredient of this experience and this adventure that brings Gasperini to Rome. If we want this to work out, the number one thing that you need to do is you need to give him total control. You need to sit down, you need to listen to him, you need to give him a piece of paper and go, I need this player, this player, this player, this player, and this player, and you buy him those players. If there's one thing that the Fredkins will like, is that Gasperini won't go, I need Yamal, I need Mbappe, No. He will name you 5 players that nobody has ever heard of, but you need to back him in those demands. If you don't back him, if you start going Ghisolfi, let Ghisolfi pick the players, let Ghisolfi, Gasperini wants him, he costs too much, Ghisolfi wants this other guy coming from France, it will not work out. The core ingredient of Atalanta's project has been exactly this. Letting him decide who he wants, and having this control in the transfer window means that he knows what to expect from the players, and he can get the best out of these players. Okay, so that's the most important thing. And he won't sign the contract if you don't guarantee him this. He will not sign that contract if you don't guarantee him, if you don't give him certainties that he will have total control in the transfer window. I wouldn't even be surprised if Ghisolfi gets sacked whenever Gasperini signs his contract, because coming in, Gasperini and Ghisolfi is going to become useless. Absolutely useless. So you might as well sack Ghisolfi, because he is going to become absolutely useless. If he doesn't become useless, it means that you're not doing it correctly. And that's the alarm. So, yeah, look, the good thing with him is that if you guarantee him this, he will get the best out of every single player. And Atalanta proves this. Now, again, Atalanta is easier because the pressure of the fans doesn't reach the players. This is a very big element in Rome. So I'm not going to put my hand on fire and say that whoever Gasperini buys this summer will end up being the new Lookman, the new Ederson. No, because there are various different factors which combine. One of them is the fact that, in Rome, pressure is big. But the first thing that you must do is guarantee him total control and certainties and back him in the transfer window. Otherwise, I'm sorry, but it will not work out. Otherwise, it's pointless to even appoint him. If you decide to start a cycle with him, a cycle because he's great in developing players, he's great, and this will have a bonus effect in terms of performances and also a bonus effect in terms of finances, because somebody like Gasperini and his philosophy of football will completely revolutionize your finances, because he's not Conte, he's not Mourinho. He won't demand massive players with massive salary caps. No, he will do the opposite of that. He will demand players that nobody has ever heard of, and then he will grow them himself. So then you can resell them and make so much profit. And of course, your finances will go from red to green in a matter of months and years. So Gasperini brings a lot of positives, but be careful because it's going to divide. However, I will say that once he gets announced as new Roma manager, please just cope. That's what I would say. There is no need. Even once, I can understand showing your discontent in not wanting him before he signs the contract. But once he signs that contract, and it's going to be imminent, it's going to happen in the next couple of hours, days, let's all together cope with him. We don't have to go on holiday with him. He just needs to manage your football club. So whether you like him or not, whether you hate him or not, I'm the first one to say that I don't like his personality. I couldn't give a shit. I don't judge his personality when I judge a football manager. I judge the way he performs, okay? And what he wins, which hopefully will be something. So there is no need. especially after he signs the contract, to continue going, oh no, protesting, banners, because another thing which I'll say is, in his press conference, in his intro press conference, whenever it will be, put Ranieri next to him. Ranieri, I trust Claudio. Gasperini was Claudio's pick. They wanted Fabregas. Como said no. They all went on Gasperini. Claudio wanted Gasperini since day one. It's a Claudio pick. I trust Claudio. We all back Claudio and trust Claudio, because Claudio knows what this football club needs. Claudio has a very important job. That job is shielding Gasperini and protecting him at all times, at all costs. Which is why I'm saying, in Gasperini's first press conference, there is going to be an introductive press conference. Welcome Gasperini. Put Ranieri next to him. Let Ranieri speak with Gasperini. And that will be a win-win situation, because the fans will back Ranieri, the fans will understand him, and ultimately they will understand that he picked Gasperini for the best of this football club. So Claudio potentially now has even a more important job than what he did before. Protecting this man at all costs. Because if the pressure, if the hate, if the discontent starts getting to Gasperini and nobody says anything, he will last 3 months. And I am not even joking. So Claudio has a very, 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 very big responsibility here. Because let's not forget that Claudio also lied to us. Now again, I'm not attacking Claudio, it was expected. But Claudio did lie, because Claudio said Gasperini won't be our manager a few months ago. Now, those are all tactics and strategies, I understand. But, Claudio has got responsibilities, because he picked a manager, which is a great manager, but the fan base doesn't like him. We trust him. Now, Claudio, however, you must protect him, because if you don't protect him, he's not lasting. He's not lasting. He won't eat turkey at Christmas. The last thing which I'll say, and then we'll end this because it's still not confirmed. It's close but not confirmed, and then we'll speak about it when the announcement comes in. Players in this team that I think would do very well under Gasperini: Kone and Gournadouat. Kone and Gournadouat under Gasperini would turn into prime N'Golo Kante and prime Yaya Toure. I'm telling you that. Gournadouat and Manu Kone are two players that Gasperini would love. I will put Soulé in him, because Soulé can grow massively with Gasp. You want to know my call? You want to know my call? Remember I said this, 28th of May. Remember my call. Tammy Abraham will play for us next season. I am convinced that Gasperini sees a lot in Tammy and will get Tammy scoring 80 goals a season. Remember, Gasperini wanted Tammy ages ago at Atalanta. It then did not go through. But Tammy is a player, even more than Dovvic, that I think Gasperini will want to gamble on. It's not going to be easy, because Tammy's lost all the faith from the fans, and Tammy clearly doesn't want to stay. But if Gasperini comes in and goes, you're going to be my big gamble. You're going to be my Retegui type gamble that nobody wanted. I want you, and I'll make you top scorer of the Serie A. Tammy could have a big say with Gasperini. I'm telling you that. I'm warning you. I've said this. Remember I said this. Gasperini will want Tammy. I've got this vision. Even more than Dovvic. That doesn't mean that Tammy will be our first striker. But, trust me. He will see a lot in Tammy. Do you think we will sell Dovvic with Gasper's coach? I don't see Dovvic. It could be a possibility. I don't think Dovvic is the... Gasperini always wanted strikers which get the ball and make the team go high. That's something that Dovvic can't do. So I would not be surprised if Dovvic leaves at all. I haven't seen anyone really mention this, but Gasperini is only 6 years younger than Ranieri. Is his age a worry for anyone in terms of a potential long-term project with him? Well, you're not the first person which says this, but 6 years is a lot of time. Everyone is going, you know, Gasperini, he stayed at Atalanta for 9 years. Gasperini won't stay at Rome for 9 years. I'd be very surprised if Gasperini stays here 3 years. So that won't be a problem. Don't you worry. That will not be a problem. Because a long-term project, yes, but a long-term project is not 9 years in Rome. 9 years can work in Bergamo, 9 years will never work in Rome. You will get to the point where the players will play against you. You will get to the point, even if it's after 3 years, you will get to the point that the players will get exhausted, don't want you anymore, and will get you sacked, which is what happened with Mourinho. So, long-term project, yes, but it won't be more than 3 years, 4 years max. Max, it won't. Was hoping it was Fabregas as Goy. Do you think he'd get booed? No, hopefully not. We need to learn how to cope, guys. Happy with Gasp? Yeah, I'm happy. You got that tattoo? I did. How's life? Life is great. And an off-topic question. You see Atalanta dipping in the table now from next season? Well, definitely they won't copy what Gasp did. It will take them time. But yeah, I see them dropping. But many teams are changing managers, so, you know, it's going to be an interesting summer. Palladino walked. I see De Rossi going at Fiorentina. I do. I think De Rossi can be a candidate for Fiorentina's job. Conte could stay. Allegri, Milan. Sarri, Lazio. A lot of changes, a lot of turmoil. We'll see what happens. What formation does Gasperini... Gasperini plays with a 3-4-2-1. Gasperini is a 3-4-2-1 merchant. Right, guys, I'm sweating like mad. I'm going to go take a great shower. Hit the like, subscribe, 100 likes on this video. Let me know your thoughts on Gasperini in the comments down below. And I'll catch you soon. Enjoy. See you out.